What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? What's up, family? And what's up, friends? It's your boy Lowell, and I'm back again. I got to hit y'all with another video. Y'all see what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Hey, I'd like to welcome you all back to another episode of Papa Lowe's Place. Now, y'all know that Papa Lowe's Place is a place where if it's on your mind, then let's talk about it. If it's something that's going on in the news, let's talk about it. If they talking about it around the dinner table, in the locker room, at the gym, at the church, wherever they talking about it, they doggone it, I say, let's talk about it. All right? Now, first and foremost, I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for clicking on and for watching this video. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to my channel as well. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, I'm a little bit under the weather, but we're going to push through this video anyway. Now, today's podcast is a video about tragedy. That's the only way that I can describe this. Again, it's a video about tragedy. Being a witness, should you do it or should you not do it? We know the ramifications of both, actually, of not doing it, meaning that the person may get away, and doing it, the ramifications are that you put yourself and your family in danger. And so again, this video kind of explores this in real time, in real life, if you will. And so I wanted to take a look at this today. I often think about this as I'm watching court cases. Those of you, some of you know, some of you may not know, I'm very intrigued by court cases, crime, and things of that nature. And this just, kind of opened my eyes up to being a witness and what all of that entails. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and watch this video. I'll give my commentary on sporadically throughout the video, also give some more detailed comment at the end of the video. So without further delay, roll that clip.
Before witness support in Chattanooga even existed, a young mother was set to be a key witness against a gang member for the murder of her friend. Well, that mother was Bianca Horton, and she was killed. And now, nearly 10 years after her death, a jury in Hamilton County found the last of her killers guilty and sentenced him to life in prison.
Her murder opened the eyes of police in Chattanooga that something was missing. It helped spark the creation of more support for those who want to speak up in the pursuit of justice. News Channel 9's Lily Butler brings us more in this special report.
All right, and family, I want you to keep in mind, just as we're going through this video report here, just think about what would you do if you were in her shoes. I know hindsight is 20/20. I know it's easy to Monday morning quarterback to talk about the things that you would and what you wouldn't do. But I really want you to just think about putting yourself in her shoes and how you would react. Just being an ordinary, regular, everyday citizen. So again, I'd appreciate it if you guys did that, and also put your comments in the comments below. So let's continue.
The trial of the last of 3 suspects in the murder of Bianca Horton came with protections not often seen in Hamilton County Court. Witnesses we didn't identify by name, image, or even voice, all in an effort to keep them safe, because this case showed Chattanooga that identifying a gang member can be dangerous.
She was willing to die to say enough. She paid the ultimate price.
Bianca Horton had identified Cortez Sims and was set to testify against him in court when she was murdered in May 2016. At the time, there was not a program to support witnesses in Chattanooga.
At a time where it is not a good thing to snitch. We have that saying, snitches get stitches, they wind up in ditches with dusty britches and, all sorts of things. At a time when things like that are popular, here's Bianca Horton willing to stand up for her community, willing to stand up. Apparently, this is her friend, but we'll see what they're talking about here. But she's willing to stand up, and as the prosecutor said, willing to put her life on the line so that this person may be removed from the streets. And I don't know about you guys, but I find that admirable because, again, there are not many people who would do this. I've watched many videos, tons of videos where people, the police go up to them. They were right there. And the police asked them, could they tell them what was going on? And they said, they're not saying nothing. They're not saying anything. And again, do I get it? The humanistic side of me says, yes, I get it. But being a dad and a husband and a son, if something happened to one of my relatives, would I want people to speak up? And the answer is yes. So to Bianca Horton, to you, I really do. I salute you. Let's continue.
Her passing, there were community agencies and city departments who came together to essentially establish what we now call Witness Support Fund.
Bianca spoke to News Channel 9 about her desire to tell the truth months before she was found dead.
I was thankful that he was caught because now I can get to the justice phase for me, my daughter, and my friend.
Nearly 10 years later, one of 3 men accused of silencing Bianca, sentenced to a life behind bars.
Everything indicated that Baptist Spark Bloods were solely responsible for the murder of Bianca Horton.
And support for victims and witnesses has expanded.
Helping them identify who are your safe contacts, thinking about your emotional well-being, physical well-being, maybe if they're, needing to stay with a friend or a family member for a period of time.
Hannah Walling is the Chattanooga Police Department Victim Services and Chaplains Director.
It is not uncommon for our staff daily to have conversations with individuals who no longer feel safe because of the crime has occurred.
Taylor Walker, CPD's homicide sergeant, said this case had a ripple effect on some of the more than 30 homicides in 2016, the year Bianca was murdered.
I do think that it created an environment where people were a little reluctant to speak with us pertaining to the homicides that occurred after that, after Bianca's death.
But
thankfully now we have the Victim Services Unit in place and more resources now than we did then.
Walling says victim services can include things like counseling and navigating the legal process, but there are more extreme cases a few times a year.
Family, I really do wish that we as society can be more proactive. To put things in place after her death when you could actually see these things coming. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that just because a person is caught, that doesn't mean that you decrease their reach. That doesn't mean that they can't call someone on the outside and say, hey, this is what I need to get done. And so, proactive is just, it's just like the next step. It should honestly and truly be the next step. Why does someone have to die in this way in order for us to say, oh, wait a minute, these people need to be protected because they could still be gotten to easily. You're talking about moving in with their family members and, go stay with friends or whatever have you. All you're doing is creating more victims or more potential victims, should I say. And so again, these are things that should have been, I don't care if you got to get the person out of state. I don't care what you have to do, but if you want them to be a witness, then as prosecutors and DAs and things of that nature, you have to be proactive. You have to do something that will allow that witness to be safe. And in this case, you did absolutely, positively nothing. Let's continue.
To try to provide some support to individuals who, because of their participation, now no longer feel safe in Chattanooga, need to relocate.
But it's not what you often see on crime TV shows or movies. She said there just isn't the money to pay for full relocations.
It's going to be what are the urgent, immediate things that we need to do to get.
No money, no witness. It's just that simple. There are a few people that are going to do it, But I'm telling you that for the most part, I would say probably 80, 85, 90% of the crimes that actually have a witness, if you do not have the funds to relocate or to put them in a safer environment, you will not have a witness. And that's just the truth of the matter. Let's continue.
Someone access to safety. So typically it's going to be looking at a few $100s per individual.
Walling says whatever does exist in the Witness Support Fund comes from community donations.
You know, there's not dedicated city dollars for that or dedicated state resource at this time.
Walker says protecting victims starts long before court, with what names and personal information they include in records like arrest reports and search warrants, all in an effort to try and keep what happened to this young mother from happening again.
A witness is here to avoid his prosecution or Tennessee's. That's what set this entire chain of events into motion.
Lily Butler, News Channel 9.
We asked why there are not taxpayer dollars dedicated to keeping victims safe. The city said they had no comment, and the TBI said they do not have witness protection, but do have a victim services unit.
All right, family. You seen that, you heard that video, and it's sad. It really is. It's truly sad and tragic, all at the same time. There are, you hear people say all the time that there are no winners. Truly, there are no winners in this particular video. Now, one of the things that I did find very interesting is at the end there, they talked about how the community came together and gave donations for this to support the witnesses and their protection or whatever have you. I think that is a great thing for communities to get involved in that. We need more of our communities to stand up and to support witnesses, especially if we want the crime within our communities to subside, to stop, to lessen, if you will. And another thing is that this was a young mother. So I think about everything that she had to lose. Her even being a mom and willing to go out there and put the information out there, being a witness, knowing that she is a mother, knowing that puts her child at risk. Again, it just deepens my gratitude for Bianca Horton. I'm sorry. Again, it just deepens my my resolve for her. Again, for me, and I'm probably going to be speaking for a large volume of our community. This is not something that we would be willing to do because, again, it's not that we don't want to speak up. It's what happens after we speak up. You putting us in this situation, this volatile situation that can bring harm and even death to either myself or to one of my family members. If I knew that at the end of the day, my family would be safe and I would be safe, I would have no problems at all speaking up. And those of you who know me anyway know that I probably wouldn't have any problem speaking up anyway. That's just who I am. And I just couldn't keep silent knowing that something happened to someone else and I have the information that would bring that family justice. So again, that's just not something that I would be cool about, if you will. Now, another thing that I found pretty interesting about this video, they said no taxpayer dollars would be used in this. So again, they're getting all the money from the community, but they're not willing to use tax dollars. And they also even went as far as to say that they gave no comment when they asked about will tax dollars or could tax dollars be used for this. Now, here's why I find that interesting. Think about all the things that we use tax dollars for, ice skating rinks and statues and, even overpaying some of our politicians. Just think about all of the taxpayer dollars that we use for frivolous things. Here's something that's a good thing, something that will clean up our community, something that will make people feel more safe. And they say, no comment. We're not willing to do that. I to be honest with you, that tells me a lot about our society. And that tells me a lot about the direction that we're headed. You know, they used to say that if you want to know the values of a man, find out where he spends his money. And so again, they're telling us everything that we need to know about what they value and what they don't value. So, you know, I'm not going to stay on this too long, but I found this video to be very interesting, tragic, and sad all at the same time. So again, I ask you guys in the comments below, what would you do in this particular case? Have you ever been in a situation like this? And again, you don't have to go in depth into what it was. Have I ever been a witness to a crime before? Yes, when I was young, maybe 9, 10, 11, something to that effect. I had to actually testify. And, you know, even though I was young, I still was scared. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was on that stand, I still was scared. When I had to talk to the prosecutor, I was scared. And it wasn't, you know, something like this where it's a murder or gang or anything like this. But I'm telling you, I was full of fear. But I got up there nonetheless and told my story. But tell me, what would you guys do in this situation? You know, if this was a family member, would you tell them to go ahead and tell the truth? Or would you tell them, hey, you might need to be quiet because these people, they can come after you and then ultimately come after us, and we don't want that smoke. So again, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in regards to this. Please like, comment, and share this video with your friends and your family so that they can see what's going on in our society today, and so they can also chime in. That's the only way that we're going to educate ourselves, to grow and to learn, is from one another. All right. Also, if you find it within your heart to do so, please subscribe to the channel, baby. We'd love to have you as a member of the Papa Lowe's Place family. All right. So, as I always say, you guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.